author of the article, use evidence from the poem Caged Bird and from the article A Bittersweet Bow for the Elephants to support your response. So, like, I said that I think she'd be upset about it, and like she would disagree. This is because she like grew up during segregation, and she writes about being trapped and wanting to be free, and she didn't really get that. And like from the caged bird, she said his wings are clipped, his feet are tied. The caged bird sings of freedom, so like it sounds like she wants them to be free. It's like she doesn't agree with captivity.
Good. So Kai had specific text evidence right there. We got a quote from the poem. Good. Great start.
I said the same thing, that she would disagree because the elephants are going into captivity just like the bird she writes about in the poem. And I also said the same example in stanza 5. It says, his wings are clipped and feet are tied, so it's just like the elephants.
I agree as well, because what I put is that I believe that you would disagree with Janet, because Janet seems to be more like positive. Like she seems to be more like, she doesn't really care that much that the elephants are in captivity. She seems more that she just likes it for entertainment.
So like what you mean is that like she doesn't really care if they leave or stay? Like she sort of morally wants them to be in the circus?
Yeah, because in paragraph 2, she says, for more than 200 years, elephants had delighted and awed American audiences. So she seems to like care more for entertainment.
Yeah, I agree with Christian. Oh, it's like, okay. I agree with Christian because, like, I don't think that Janet really cares about how the elephants are being treated. She just cares about, like, how much money she's making and for using people like her.
Yeah, I agree too. Because the vibe I got from this article is that she's, like, okay with the elephants being held in captivity. And that, even though it says in paragraph 3 that critics have argued that elephants, highly intelligent, socially sensitive animals, have no place in captivity, I think there was more text evidence for supporting elephants in captivity.
Yeah, like to go with Neville, in that same paragraph, it talks about like sort of how they are mistreated, like using an ANCUS, and it says that some cities have even explicitly banned it, so I'm getting a feel that like that's not really a good tool.
So do you think, like, to get them to be trained, do they, like, beat them with it, or do they, like...
I don't know. I think they like use it, yeah, but I don't know if it's like physically like hurting them.
So you're saying, like, it's bad for them to use that to, like, train them?
Well, I think Maya doesn't like the idea of elephants in captivity because this is how she felt too, like she felt like trapped and everything. And then in paragraph 2, sentence 1, she says the free bird thinks of another breeze, so she like wants to be free, but she really can't.
I think that that Maya would disagree that holding elephants in captivity is wrong and using for entertainment, because in stanza 6 of the poem, the last sentence, it says the caged bird sings of freedom. So like it kind of means like that the caged bird, that the animals held in captivity are like feel like less happy.
Yeah, I agree, because, like, I think the elephants should be able to, like, roam free and be where they want to be. And I don't think they should be in captivity just for people to be.
Kiara, do you disagree or do you agree?
I think that Maya Angelou would be against the elephants in captivity because in her poem it says that the birds like are scared.
Did you guys pick up on any figurative language she used? Like any other metaphors within the poem to express that feeling of captivity? What were some of the specific lines that she said that made it seem so harmful to the bird?
He said in paragraph 2, but a bird that stops down his narrow cage can set him free through his bars of rage.
In stanza 5, another figurative language is his wings are clipped and his feet are tied.
In stanza 3, it says the caged bird sings with a beautiful trill.
So what do these things mean? You guys gave me a lot of good examples. but what does it mean? What are the meanings of some of those metaphors? So she's talking about the actions of the bird, but what does that mean if we're going to be literal about it?
It means the bird's like trapped and can't go anywhere, it's not free.
Yeah, like
Like the elephant.
Stuck, like it can't go anywhere. And she said, like with the elephants, how they're trapped in captivity and kept there. The cage bird is stuck and they can't get out.
It's like being trapped is taking a toll on its emotions and mental state.
And I think it would go because the bird wants to like get out of the cage.
Good. If you guys feel like you're ready, you've kind of worn this question out, somebody can pick a different one to move on to. I think we've gotten a lot of good responses on that one. We can probably move on to another one on the sheet.
Okay, so the next question was, how are these texts similar and then
Oh, hold on. We'll break for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and take our coaching break. So turn to your partner and we'll take 1 minute.
Alright, so I just need to say I'm just gonna do like I did that because I remember I said that's I'm just gonna summarize
All right, everybody stop. Our 1 minute's up. Yes, Kai.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So she said that's kind of like what Yelena said, would that be making connections or does that have to be to the actual text?
So she's connecting her comment to Yelena's? That's a connection. You can connect it to the text. You can connect it to something real world. It's reminding you of a movie or another issue you've heard of in the media. All of those are connections. So anything from the text or from our discussion to something else, that counts. Good. All right, we're going to go for our second round on this group, and then we will switch discussers. So, I think Cece, we just started that second one. All right, we're going to pick up from there and continue with that second question. Good job.
Okay, so the second question was, how are these texts similar in their treatment of the issue of captivity and how animals are affected by it and how are they different? So I said that they are similar because they both talk about the negative effects of captivity, but they're different because the one about the elephants talks about the good things, how it's good for entertainment and people come to watch it.
So you're saying like the only good things in with the article, but most of the bad things are the poem, like she told us the bad things.
Yeah, like the poem has doesn't really say anything good about captivity, but the article says like good things and bad things. So.
Yeah, like I found evidence to support that. In paragraph 2 of the article, it talks about all the wonders and all the great things about having elephants in the circus. But then in paragraph 3 and in paragraph 12, it talks about abuse and labor. And then in stanza 5, it talks about all the negative things about the caged bird in captivity.
So what you mean is that was like the opinions of both sides.
Yeah, sort of like
I agree with Cece because like the one article is, or the elephant article is more biased towards like holding animals for like our own entertainment purposes, while the poem is more like wanting animals to be free.
The article, it says how kind of like where CC was some good stuff. It says how audiences spoke solemnly of seeing the elephant is an awe-inspiring encounter with a wondrous being. It says how it's cool to see it happen, but then there's other stuff about how it's dangerous and how people are concerned about them traveling. Yeah, I agree with Kai, and also like it reminds me kind of like of SeaWorld, because some people think that they're like like torturing the animals being there and they're bringing them out from the ocean, and others think that they're like rescuing the animals from the ocean and then they're just having more.
I agree, because while the well, the article, it has two different opinions in it. The poem has only, it only has one like solid opinion, but it does have two views because in stanzas 1 and 4, it talks about the free bird, and in stanza 1 it says, leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun's rays and dares to claim the sky. So I think the free bird is feeling more of a pride, and then the caged bird is, well, scared.
Yeah, I take that.
I thought they were similar because they were both talking about animal captivity and that it's not really good, but I thought that the bittersweet battle for the elephant was more about the entertainment as for the people, and because in the poem in stanza 2 it talks about the bird being in a cage and the elephants are like in captivity as well.
Like Isabel said, in SeaWorld, they're both like forced, like animals are forced to do things that they like probably don't want to. Like SeaWorld, they have to like perform and everything. And like same thing with elephants, they have to be forced to perform things. So I don't think that's like really good. So that's how they're similar.
I agree. I think the poem is more figurative language and the article is straight facts, because in the poem it says about the bird is trapped and it's more referring to people like in segregation times.
Now, real quick, because we're at about a 2-minute, 1.5 minutes with this group, since this is your last round. You can finish up with this discussion, but does anybody have a personal question that they created that they really want? Okay. So I want to give you a chance to get those out there if we want to start with those. Did anybody have one last thing to say on the end of that discussion? All right, go ahead, Braxton.
I think the article is more neutral because she gives both sides of the discussion. But it's more entertainment on the article, and the caged bird is more of like a freedom thing.
So like the article has both aspects and
Yes.
Okay, well, I had a personal question about the elephants and if they actually like feel pain like humans, and how the caged bird talks about its like emotional state, because in paragraph 3 of the elephant article it says animal rights groups have long battled circuses for their use of the product like incus, and so that's just like the physical things that hurt the animals. But I was wondering if like the elephants had like emotional pain.
Yeah, it's kind of like my question. I was like thinking if it's like maybe like animal cruelty, because in paragraph 11 at the end it says the elephants were electrocuted, so that could be something like animal cruelty.
What do we think? Any answers to Cece or to Yelena's questions? What do you guys think about their emotional abilities?
I think that the elephants, because in my opinion, I don't think they would know any different than how they're treated in the circus, and like they wouldn't know any different, so they wouldn't really feel like, I guess, upset about it.
Yeah, like in paragraph 3.
We got then. I'm gonna let Amelia finish that last comment before we switch to our next round. Go ahead, Amelia.
Like in paragraph 3, you talked about how they're big animals with great like IQ sort of, and they're sensitive, and like I don't think they should be in captivity, just like the orcas in SeaWorld, like Isabel said.
Good. All right, that was an awesome first round. Before we switch, so outside circle right now you have your peer rubric. Go ahead and look at that.